Good morning, everyone. It is 9:30. We'd like to start our meeting. Thank you all for coming. And we will start with a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance following that. Silence. And now our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item is public comment, agenda items only. Is there anyone here that would have any public comments, agenda items only? Seeing none. Okay, moving on now. This is interesting because I don't see Cindy Tribal or anybody here.
Go on to the next item. I'll try and find her.
All right, so we'll move through the business until, and then we'll recess and go into different session. Okay. Okay, old business. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions list in old business items 1, 2, and 3?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Proclamation, a certificate, do I hear a motion to award Michael Rodriguez with his certificate for Eagle Scout?
So moved. A second.
First and second, and we have second one. Somebody's covering June 4th, right?
Yep.
Yep, thank you very much for that. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to new business. Number 1, motion to approve the actions listed in personnel, item number 1. Letters A and B.
So moved. Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Madam Chairman, there are no corrections.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't have any.
Okay, so that's why she's not here.
No.
Okay, probably. Thank you.
No.
Okay. Moving on to number 2, electronic financial transactions ratify. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 2, items A, B, and C?
So moved. Second.
First and second, any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Moving on to number 3. Do you hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 3, item A, travel authorizations? Bless you.
I'll make that motion. I'll second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to item number 4. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 4, item A?
So moved. Second.
We have a first and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 5, Monroe County Children and Youth Services. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 5, items A and B?
So moved. Second.
We have a first and we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, going on to number 6, Commissioner's Office. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 6, Commissioner's Office, items A through L?
So moved.
First and second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion on the items?
Don, you want to talk about F and J? Sure. F is the Archer Group, who we currently employ for how we grade our positions within the county. We are asking them to review the existing compensation plan and make recommendations for improvement. We seem to have an awful lot of different job titles and descriptions, and we're going to try to narrow that down.
And this is something that hasn't been done for a number of years. Individually, people ask for things to be approved or reviewed and changed, but never as a whole, we had never evaluated like this in a long time. Thank you.
That is a good description, but I was working off yesterday's agenda, so it was really G and K.
Oh, okay.
Strunk Albert Engineering. The Barrett Township has purchased the school in Barrett from the Pocono Mountain School District, and what they're doing is making it kind of a center for different organizations up there. We are moving our MDJ office that is up in Barrett Township to that facility, and we have to do work in outfitting those offices. So there's contracts for Strunk Albert Engineering to provide HVAC, and Schoonover Vanderhoof for design work. That's in K. We also have Wardle Engineering. Wardle Engineering does parking decks, and we, on a bi-yearly, every 2 or 3 years, have Wardle Engineering come in and do looks over our parking deck and gives us suggestions on repairs that should be made to keep it in tip-top shape.
Along the line with G and K, it's interesting that, and I think it's important to note that Barrett Township's trying to relocate all the services in one building to kind of incorporate what some of the other townships are doing as well, where the MDJ is within their township buildings and coordinating. People have a one-stop shop kind of place to go for those services. Anything else? Anything else, sir? Okay. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm in favor too. Okay. Number 7. Redevelopment Authority of Monroe County. Do your motion to approve the actions listed in number 7, items A and B. Yes, A and B.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Moving on to item 8, Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I hear a motion to approve item A for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second, any discussion?
There are an awful lot of carry permits in Monroe County. Hopefully this will streamline the application of said permits.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We go to number 9, Monroe County Transportation Authority. Do I hear a motion to accept the actions listed in number 9, item A?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? And hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Number 10, Monroe County Correctional Facility. Do I hear a motion? In number 10, the Monroe County Correctional Facility, items A through D.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Just under, excuse me, under item A, we have been served by Prime Care for the last, well, ever since I've been a commissioner, which is at least 12 years. Prime Care provides medical services for the inmates at the correctional facility. And they do an excellent job, but their contract is up at the end of this year. And our attorney has advised us that we need to go out for a bid. Prime Care will be one of the bidders, but it's not the worst thing in the world to go out to bid periodically on major contracts like this. But we're keeping our fingers crossed that we get competitive bids and that Prime Care will agree to bid, because we're certainly satisfied with the services. However, if another vendor provides same service at lower costs, that will be the direction we will head.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Moving on to number 11, capital outlay purchases. I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 11, items A and B.
So moved.
Second,
First and second, any discussion?
capital purchases for $99,761.46 is for a system for the sheriffs in the new courthouse. It is a gun-safe system, kind of like if you've ever seen a big file system that rolls back and forth. That's what this will do with guns. It is a rather, with the advent of PFAs and the sheriff's department having to take guns whenever a PFA, we have thousands of guns that we are responsible for. This will make it better and safer and keeps the guns in good shape because we're responsible for them.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12, computer capital purchases, item A. Do I hear a motion to approve item A and number 12?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Miscellaneous.
Before going to miscellaneous, point of order, do we need to accept the corrections to the duplicate even though there aren't any?
No.
Very good.
You just let it go. Okay. Any miscellaneous?
I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank everybody that was involved in last week's elections on Tuesday. Last, we had the primary vote. Thank the candidates, both those who were successful and those who weren't, for their willingness to put themselves forward and run for office. The election day workers, the judges of elections, the inspectors, and the other people that kept things moving smoothly. The voter registration office for its work, we were capable of basically getting the mail-in votes tallied by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think that will be the case in next year's presidential, but that work went smoothly. And last but not least, the voters. The preliminary counts that we have is that we had about 21% turnout. And don't take that to the bank, but I think that's 21% of all people who are registered to vote. Turnout would be a little bit higher because those who were registered with a party other than the two major ones were not eligible to vote in the primary. So I think this is a total or a percentage of the total registered, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it was broken down by the total eligible to vote because we've got 115,000 people registered to vote. I'm just pulling numbers now. Maybe 15,000 of them are registered as either non-affiliated, independents, libertarians, et cetera, et cetera. They were not able to vote, so I believe this is a percentage of the total, not in my example, the 100,000 that really could vote, but 21% is still higher than in my first few years of being in office, and largely I believe that's because of the use of mail-in ballots and drop boxes that we've put around the community. But it was a very smooth day. Not that there weren't minor problems that popped up here and there, but everything went well, and it's the way a democracy is supposed to work. So I thank everybody involved in that.
Thank you. Any other miscellaneous? Anything in the chat box?
Not for miscellaneous.
Pardon
This is
me?
for public comment.
Okay, no public. Okay. Public comments. We have guests here today. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah.
Hi, my name is Brooke Rivera, and I'm with Valor Clinic Foundation. Two of our currently volunteers, Carrie and Christina. And having worked at Valor now for about a month and a half, I am excited to be in Monroe County. I'm from the Lehigh Valley and looking forward to working with you all on behalf of our veterans for all kinds of mental health and affordable housing and healthy food and workforce development, anything that we can do together to help our veterans get readjusted and heal and all kinds of good things. So happy to be here.
Very good. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other miscellaneous?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Don Kubik here from the correctional facility. Unfortunately, I'm out of town today. I couldn't come see you guys in person, but I wanted to, I guess, participate via the video here. So I just had one quick question about the Archer study that was done. That was done last year, and now we're, I guess, having them kind of retake a look at it to reorganize some things. Is that going to affect pay scales? Are pay scales going to be adjusted for some of these jobs?
Don, just so you know, it does not include union positions. What it does is I want to say we have 54 different classifications, and we're trying to bring that down to a lower number.
No, there's a lot. It's an overabundance of classifications. I get it. And I know with the unions, it's all bargaining and contractual stuff. I get that. I'm curious if is it going to adjust pay scales for some of the jobs potentially?
We don't know yet. It possibly could.
Okay.
We have to wait to see till the study is done because of if some things are collapsed, it very well could, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, positions could move up or down. That's kind of my thought where I was thinking about it. And then I had a question about, is there anything that you guys are considering as your positions on the prison board and the commissioners with the actual prison staffing numbers? I mean, it's 2 years, 2.5 years that we barely are reaching over 100 active working officers. And even with this new class, we're barely cracking 100. If we look at the numbers from 2.5 years ago till now, we're not getting any headway. The overturn is outrageous, and a big portion of that overturn, number one, is the conditions of the prison as far as how we're treated out there, which we filed numerous complaints about that from the administration standpoint. Number two, it's the overtime. We still have people that are being mandated 3 times in a row, 17-hour days. All these things that we've talked about for a year and a half, 2 years now, we've been addressing. It's still the same thing. People can't continue to work under these conditions, and we're still doing it. We're not making any headway. What's the discussion on? Obviously, we settled the contract without arbitration, and it gave us a pay raise, but that wasn't enough. We're not getting people in the door. We're not getting candidates. We're not getting people to stay. Is there any discussion on other things we can do, like we've talked about in the past, as far as hiring bonuses and retention bonuses that are paid out over a 12-month period or a 24-month period? Just some type of discussion to get people in this door and get people to stay in the door, because the people in this jail, they're beaten down. We're tired. It's 2.5, 3 years almost now of this through COVID. Is there any discussion on something else other than just we're going to keep posting online and jobs and Indeed.com? There's got to be something else.
Mr. Kubik, we had a discussion with HR here this past Monday and agreed that the position that's open in the personnel department or the HR department will be pointed at recruiting, because it's obvious to us that, as you say, posting in the same old place gets you the same old number of responses. So I think you'll see a revitalized within, and again, it's not going to happen today, tomorrow, or next week, but in the near future, I think you'll see a revitalized recruiting program put together where the benefits of working for the county, even though there are some downsides, but the benefits of working for the county are pretty good. And I think it's indicative of the job market today where you can hardly go to any retailer or business within the community that's not also looking for staff. And this is taking a more proactive approach rather than being reactive, which I think we've been for the past several years.
I'm happy to hear that. I agree. But in our business, as far as the jail, it's different than any other business in the county in the aspect of we can't shut stuff down. We can't slow operations down. This isn't a mom and pop food store where, yes, your customer service is going to be slower. Our staff shortage that we've been facing for almost 2.5, 3 years it directly correlates to safety concerns and health and safety concerns for not only the officers, but the inmates themselves and the members of the community, because the officers are driving home tired, they can crash. We don't have the option. It's not a nice option to just sit there and say, all right, we're trying, we're going to get people. It's hopefully these things change. We don't have the ability to slow our customer service down. The correctional facility operates on a completely different capacity than every other county entity, small mom and pop business, large businesses in the community. We don't have that ability. And like I said, the people they're burnt down, tired. People are getting divorces. People are quitting. It's not good. It's not healthy, and it's bad. So there's got to be something specific to us in the meantime to hurry up and just push this through and get people in the building, and also appreciate the people that have been working under this for 3 years. It's not like any other business. Nobody else in the county is working under the hours and conditions that we at this correctional facility are working under. And it's turning into direct safety issues. We need to do, there's got to be a little bit more towards us. There has to be some topic of conversation. And that's what I'm seeing is there's not. Everything is being looked at on a county-wide scale versus directly looking at this prison. The amount of money that is being spent on overtime and coming out of taxpayer dollars and the funds from the county, it is outrageous. And I'm going to be submitting a request, pretty shortly here to you guys to see over the last 5 years, 7 years, the difference in the overtime. And yes, the hourly wages play into that, but just the amount of hours of overtime. I can tell you it's weekly, the numbers of overtime shifts that are being paid out in that facility they're outrageous. It's costing the taxpayers in this county an outrageous number. If we would have paid hiring and retention bonuses 2 years ago, you look around the country, you look around places, a lot of places are paying hiring and retention bonuses for law enforcement and correctional facilities, because these are jobs that, as I stated, they don't have the ability to say, hey, we'll slow our services down. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little longer for you to get your meal or something. They're essential personnel. They need to be there. There is no other option. The same as the medical facilities. When they were short-staffed, they were paying bonuses and raising wages to get people because they're essential services. The jail's an essential service that doesn't have the option to slow down like everybody else. And I'm asking for more to be done.
Thank you, Mr. Kukuk. This will be a dialogue moving down the road. Thank you.
Prison board.
At the prison board, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank
you. That's
I
it.
had
Thank you, Mr. Kukuk. Anything else, John? John?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Okay,
We are.
we are, yep.